Hello everyone and welcome back to round 13 of the F1 2006 Championship Edition career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live from Germany a few days ago, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. 6 races to go of the season, and we have got an absolute mountain to climb there. We are still 30 points back behind Giancarlo Fisichella in the Drivers' World Championship, but we have come off a good run of form in the last few races as well there. 2 points back now behind Juan Pablo Montoya. I want to try and get the jump on him this weekend. Hungary, though, I'll be honest, this should on paper be an easy win for us. We actually won this race last season from the back of the grid, and in season 1 we scored our first ever points on this game. So yeah, this one's hopefully going to be a good weekend for us. We've got a lot of happy memories here. If you're new around here as well, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We're closing in on 130,000 subscribers at the moment. But yeah, F1's last race before the summer break. Hopefully it can be a good one. Well, I have obviously driven everywhere inside this game at least a couple of times now, and Hungary, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, is the most hilarious depiction of an IRL Formula 1 circuit. I think this is probably the most inaccurate one inside the entire game, I would go as far to say. But yeah, honestly, that always makes me laugh quite a bit as well, because it's actually a track that I prefer on this game relative to real life. I find it way more enjoyable inside this game, so clearly the Hungaroring track owners need to take a leaf out of Studio Liverpool's book, make the Hungaroring like this, and yeah, I would want to race it more in other series.
Slightly more than 4.3 kilometres of twisting Hungarian racetrack lie here in almost complete silence at the moment. However, all that is about to change as Saturday qualifying at the Hungaroring gets underway.
Well, I sat down and did the maths after last weekend's video from Germany. If we were to win every single race at the end of the season, and it's a big if because Japan is on the calendar and I'm not looking forward to that one, we would actually finish the year on 99 points, which is pretty ballpark for how many points a world champion tends to score on this game. But yeah, we're kind of at a weird little stage where we're kind of really hoping that both Renaults, both Ferraris kind of keep tripping over each other towards the end of the year. Fisichella is still that championship leader, but Michael Schumacher now is only 3 points back. So we're kind of hoping that Alonso and Massa have a couple of strong races. I think, to be honest, if we get to Brazil still with a mathematical shot at the title, then we probably could be pretty proud of ourselves, because the first half of this year was absolutely terrible. Moving, though, like we say, into qualifying, I'm hoping this one's going to be an easy pole. Oh, why, we've got loads of traffic here in Q1. Felipe Massa, come on. I want you to have a good weekend, sir. No, don't turn in on me. Why? Felipe Massa sees me going past him on a qualifying lap and thinks, you know what, I'll try and grab some speed off of him, apparently. He's got a Super Aguri as well on a lap. Probably could have timed this one a little bit better. We'll get down the inside, though. And that could have ended up a lot worse. That corner is so much fun on this game. 5 seconds clear of Scott Speed. That is us easily through Q1. As what on earth is that going on down at T1? Well, Scott Speed to Kumasato then, slowest of the entire grid. Both of them, though, set identical times. But yeah, we were comfortably clear in Q1. We might just be able to fast forward straight now to the end of qualifying. But you never know, there might be some surprises. Well, Heidfeld then actually getting up in the mix there, only 6/10 away from Michael Schumacher and out-qualifying both Alonso and Felipe Massa. Whether both Ferrari and Renault now are having to start playing number 1 drivers, we will have to wait and see. But nearly 2 seconds clear at the end of Saturday. I'm just hoping for the easiest Grand Prix of my life.
Welcome to the Hungaroring in Budapest for this year's Hungarian Grand Prix. In 1986, the Hungarian Grand Prix made history when it was the first F1 race to be run behind the Iron Curtain. Characterised by its dusty and slippery surface, the Hungaroring has the tightest layout on the Formula 1 calendar, that is apart from Monaco. Overtaking here is very difficult, so a good qualification is absolutely crucial. It's a clear day here at the moment, good visibility for the drivers. You have pole. Second on the grid is Michael Schumacher. They're followed by Giancarlo Fisichella in third. Jenson Button lines up fourth. Fifth is Kimi Raikkonen. Nick Heidfeld starts sixth. Fernando Alonso is seventh. Eighth is Felipe Massa.
Well, 6 different drivers then in 6 different cars making up the top 6 on the grid. Really is a good season. I think 2006, I've always said the years between 2006 and 2010 are probably the greatest ever in Formula 1. 5 drivers, 5 championships in 5 years for 5 different teams. It was an absolutely mental time in the sport, and kind of a vacuum was created after the Ferrari dominance of the early 2000s. But yeah, we need another big win today. A little bit of a shame that it is Schumacher and Fisichella that line up second and P3. Maybe the likes of Button and Kimi Raikkonen can try and spring a surprise.
All systems functioning within the tolerances. Have a great race.
Oh, haven't quite got the temperature in the rear tyres, but it's not the end of the world, hopefully.
You know the drill by now. Here we go.
Pretty clean, tidy start. Michael's gone nowhere.
As does Michael Schumacher.
Come on, survive turn 1. That's the first goal.
Drivers into turn 1. You're in front out of the first corner. Next is Fisichella. Next is Michael Schumacher.
Well, Fisichella then a power move up to P2. I think there was a bit of contact between him and the German, but I'm not going to complain about it too much then, as Giancarlo tries to hang with me out of the next couple of corners here. I'm still expecting to see some reliability issues for some of the others between now and the end of the campaign, but purely from a numerical standpoint, I want to see the German get back past the Italian here, as well. We've just got to make sure that we settle into a rhythm early on to navigate our way through the S's. This is where we're normally really quick on this lap.
You should have optimum grip levels now.
Tyre temperature is good, as that is certainly not the line through there. Still trying to get used to the race fuel. We've opted to try and fuel long this afternoon just because we knew we had that pace in the back pocket after Saturday. But yeah, that's a pretty good way to start this race. Just trying to build up a little bit of a lead early on in case we end up making a mistake.
First lap completed, the field looks like this. You now lead the race. Fisichella is second. Michael Schumacher third. Button is fourth. Kimi Raikkonen fifth. Alonso sixth. He's up from seventh. Heidfeld is in seventh. He's down from sixth. And Massa is eighth.
Great first sector. That's the fastest time you've set so far.
Well, quite surprised then, Felipe Massa has made no progress off the start of this race. So if things were to finish as they are, we would only be a handful of points behind him before we head to Istanbul Park next time out. But yeah, I'm most intrigued to see what Schumacher and Fisichella's pace is going to be like relative to each other. As I said, we need to average 5 points a race out of Giancarlo. At the moment, if things were to finish like this, we'd only take 2 out of him. As that is not the line through in towards the final couple of hairpins. Of course, we won't really know exactly what's going on until we see when people box later on. Maybe Fernando and Felipe both went heavy on fuel, trying to expect some chaos. But yeah, Schumacher, he's definitely staying close to Giancarlo. As Button and Raikkonen, I was hoping they might help me out. Doesn't look to be the case. I mean, looking at the way this race is panning out early on, obviously a lot can and probably will still change by the end. But yeah, strictly from our championship hopes, best thing would be is that Michael tries to go for a move on Giancarlo and they both take each other out. That would certainly be useful, but I'm not going to put on any money on it. That's slightly worrying then. We're only on lap 7. Already got a tyre wear warning light flashing up. So yeah, we're going to have to try and be a little bit smoother on the rubber as well. Someone's gone. That's Fernando Alonso out of the Grand Prix. So big shot for Renault early on here. No idea. Well, I'm guessing it's been a mechanical failure. So now we've got to try and avoid some oil. Oh, where is that oil then? Got to try and immediately get ourselves off of the racing line. But yeah, poor old Fernando Alonso really has not quite had the luck so far this season. You can see breaking down its turn 2. The engine on that Renault has gone bang. Reliability will still be a worry for many others between now and the end of the year. looks like we've lost another one then in this GP. This time around, I believe that's a Toro Rosso. So again, we're going to have more oil trying to avoid.
You now lead the race. Fisichella is second. Michael Schumacher third. Button is fourth. Kimi Raikkonen fifth. Massa sixth.
Starting to see a few cars into the pit lane then. I believe that is Juan Pablo Montoya, first car in. So a little bit earlier than I would really want to be doing it. But yeah, that oil can still always ruin your day. So both McLarens then and Felipe Massa seem to have gone a little bit light on the fuel. Giancarlo and Michael still hanging out here at the moment. Looks like Giancarlo's just about able to keep Michael Schumacher at arm's length as well. So this isn't boding well for me. I think if Michael can overcut him, then he will be able to still. That gap is still close enough, but it's not looking fantastic. Fisichella in. Giancarlo Fisichella into the pit lane, but so is Michael Schumacher. So that means that an undercut is definitely not going to be happening.
You now lead the race. Fisichella is second. Michael Schumacher third. Button is fourth.
Jenson Button, of course, the real-life 2006 winner here, up to P2. But yeah, goes to show the pace that BAR has got this weekend. Still not quite enough.
It's quite overcast here now, and it looks like rain might be on the way. Fortunately, it looks like it's still a fair way off, and we should be finished here before it hits.
I honestly thought that Martin Brundle was going to lie to me earlier on in the day when he said there wasn't going to be any rain. Why say that if it's not actually going to affect things? I'll tell you what, both BARs seem to have gone a tremendous way into the Grand Prix. Barrichello now finally in. I assume Jenson Button is going to make the call next time round. He's having to lap the remaining... Oh no, both Toro Rossos are still in this Grand Prix, I think. So I don't quite know, actually. It must be a Red Bull that is also out then of the race. It's weird. If a car gets involved in a crash, James Allen likes to tell you about it. If the car simply has a mechanical failure, he tends not to bother. I would like to know either or, to be honest, as we'll switch that Toro Rosso on the exit of the final corner. But yeah, we are boxing the end of this lap, and now we've got Jacques Villeneuve to deal with. What on earth is Jacques doing down in towards turn 1?
The top 8 are as follows. You now lead the race. Button is second. Fisichella third.
I think this Williams is hopefully going to be the last car I have to deal with, he says, as that Williams is really going to get in the way of me. What on earth are you doing? I think that's Mark Webber there, who's clearly having a fun day out. But Button, I thought Button might actually get the jump on Michael Schumacher. He's certainly a bit closer, but not close enough. He's making our way then through the final couple of corners we'll go. Had to deal with way more lap traffic than I'd ideally wanted to. I'm hoping, looking at it, we should come back out ahead of a Super Aguri. As well, where does the game take control here? Got a couple more cars into the pits. Come on, let's try and get a nice, clean, tidy stop. That would be nice to top out what so far has been a really good day. Oh no, I've messed it up. Well, 9.2, despite that, I'm quite impressed with, to be honest. But yeah, that was not my finest pit stop in the world. Completely forgot to press one of the buttons. And unfortunately, because of that, we're just going to come out in a little bit of traffic.
Don't go crazy. Wait till they're green and you have optimum traction.
Not the ideal line on pit lane exit, but yeah, now we just got to try and bring this thing home with a couple of Super Aguris still lapping the process. Oh, and then first Super Aguri. It's bizarre the way they sometimes can carry speed off of a corner. I genuinely thought that he was going to try and stay up my inside. Luckily not.
They've heated up nicely now. Grip should be good.
Schumacher is also staying agonizingly close to Giancarlo, but cannot get close enough to make a move. It is pure Hungary. Oh, a nice run on the second Super Aguri car, and that is actually okay. We'll accept that one as the way for an AI to let me by. I never thought in a million years I'd be rooting for Michael Schumacher, but he is definitely on a charge, bringing that gap down to Giancarlo at the moment. I've got to try and make sure we focus on where we're going on the road, but I won't mind if we see that Ferrari inherit P2. Although I really didn't want to have to try and lap too many more cars this race, but I think we're going to have to get around these 4 again. Jacques Villeneuve's going to have to go a lap down. But yeah, we've got a couple of Toro Rossos to get by before then. Will they move out of the way off of turn 1? One of them will. Our second tower also, come on. Bye. Turn into the apex, and fantastic. It's always scary, and it never won't be. But maybe those lapped cars as well might hinder or help one of Fisichella or Schumacher. Next up, though, for me is going to be Jacques Villeneuve. As you can see just how much speed we're able to carry around a lot of this lap, but no need to take any risks late on in the day. Jacques Villeneuve apparently wants to make me work for it. Round the outside we'll go, though. We have got the grip. One more then, Mark Webber through the final corner. Get to the apex. Thank you very much. I can see on the mini-map, Fisichella is pushing one of those Midlands along. I think he's made it by. I don't really know what the AI's rules with lapping each other is, to be honest. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Michael's gaining much of an advantage at the moment. I think the AI... it could even be when they're not on the screen. They literally just phase through each other. But at the moment, doesn't seem to be working for Michael. Yeah, I think looking at it, honestly, I think Fisichella's actually got away from the German again under all of that. So I think any hopes we've got of Giancarlo dropping more points seem to be very quickly evaporating.
Heidfeld is in 7th, and in 8th place is Juan Pablo Montoya.
Oh, that oil slick on the racing line. So evil. That's the second time in 2 weekends it's done that. Could not tell you who it is out of the Grand Prix. I think it's one of the Midlands or a Toro Rosso. But yeah, we've got the sole remaining Red Bull to try and navigate, and the other Williams is Nick Heidfeld. Must be said, shout out to Nick Heidfeld, because he's still running incredibly well this afternoon, so I believe it must be clearing this out. So I'm 99% certain that was DC's helmet. But yeah, now we just got, I believe, Nico Rosberg to try and put a lap down as well here. But as Grand Prix go, this definitely would have been one of the most dominant ones we've ever had on this game. But to be honest, I kind of hoped it would be the case. We are the king of the Hungaroring inside F1 Championship Edition. We score points every time we've finished here.
In the lead.
You're nearly there. This is the last lap of the race.
I really don't want to give a too big a speech though before this race is over, because I will then end up bottling it. But yeah, of course, we've taken good points here in the previous 2 seasons. Oh, Fisichella getting slowed up behind one of the Super Aguris. Michael Schumacher is now right with him on the mini-map. Will that Super Aguri get in the way between them? No, it won't. And now the German is practically pushing Giancarlo along then with one more lap to go. I think he's just been able to create a little bit of breathing room once again. But will Schumacher be able to get close enough? It looks like Giancarlo always gets good traction out of that final corner and opens up the gap. But yeah, I don't know whether it's obviously as soon as you finish a race, whether it simulates everyone else's results or whether it does let the race run to the very end. I don't know whether it's in our best interest to try and slow down and see if Michael Schumacher can get by Giancarlo, but through the final couple of corners we will go. It is back-to-back victories here at the Hungaroring. This one was never really in doubt. And yeah, 10 points certainly gives us a helping hand in the Drivers' Championship. Yeah, absolutely. You love to see it.
You've done it. That's a truly momentous win. You take maximum points from this Grand Prix. Fisichella will finish the race in second. That's the 13th race of the season completed. Unlucky for some? Possibly. But it's provided an interesting spectacle once again. We take a longer break now, so teams and drivers can spend a little time with family and friends before we enter the final part of the season. Next stop is Turkey, at the latest Herman Tilke circuit, just outside Istanbul. With its notorious Turn 8 ready to bite at anyone who's not concentrating fully, I can't wait for the action to start there. Join us in 3 weeks' time, where East meets West, for another thrilling chapter in the F1 calendar. Goodbye for now.
Well, yeah, almost a 40-second race victory there ahead of Giancarlo Fisichella, so we did pretty much maintain that 2-second a lap advantage carried over from qualifying. But Christian Albers, Christian Klein, and Fernando Alonso, the three that failed to see the checkered flag there. And that now means we are just 6 points behind Fernando Alonso with 5 races to go of the season there. Massa as well starting to drop away, as it looks like it could be Schumacher versus Fisichella for the title. But 4 wins in a row for us We are really on a roll at the moment. I'm hoping we can try and carry that momentum into the next Grand Prix. They're 6 points back now from Toyota. Maybe, just maybe, we can get to McLaren before the end of the year there as Ferrari open up their count over Renault by just a single extra point. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and enjoy another of F1 Championships horribly cursed podiums.